Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Uyai Anyakan, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari says INEC has no reason not to be ready for 2023. Court convicts obese campaign DG Okupe of money laundering. Plus, Netherlands to make First in our news this afternoon, President Muhammadu Buhari has said that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has no reason not to conduct free, fair and credible elections in 2023, as he has approved all that was requested by the Institute of Peace, USIP, the International Republican Institute, the National Endowment for Democracy, and the International Foundation for Electoral Systems. The president, who asserted his confidence in INEC's readiness for the 2023 elections, said he has made sure they were given all the resources required to conduct a successful election to the satisfaction of contestants and voters. He also hoped that through the observatory roles of the contestants and political parties, a non-issue.
Thank you very much. INEC, as you asked, whether INEC is prepared to conduct the election next year, I would say they are, because I made sure they were given all the resources they asked. So I don't want any excuse that they were denied funds by the government. So they were given the money, although some of their offices in 1 or 2 geopolitical zones have been attacked, but all the same, INEC has not complained, and certainly they could not complain.
Buhari has also cautioned Western nations on the frivolous issuance of travel advisories on Nigeria, urging the international media to be more use of some of its friends and allies. Nigeria is nonetheless winning the war on terrorism, making significant progress in dealing with the threats to Nigeria's and the sub-region's safety and survival region, warning that the survival of democracy is being challenged in the aftermath of the democratic setbacks witnessed in Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. Away from that, the Minister of State for Health, Joseph Nwankama, has said without effective population policies to reduce the high fertility rate, 100 million by 2050. He said the demographic trend had implications for Nigeria's economic development because the youth population was dependent. The minister added that achieving the commitment of a modern contraceptive prevalence rate of 27% by 2030 was a beautiful milestone in ensuring universal access to reproductive health. Meanwhile, the number of Nigerian women using modern contraceptive methods is 12%. In another development, the federal government, through the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, has said only 10,692 electricity projects out of 15,931 are certified as excellent and standardized in the country's power. Certification is required to mitigate the hazards associated with the abuse of electricity, which can result in injuries, fatalities, and equipment damage. According to him, the agency has monitored 12,000 chemical installations at factories and hazardous buildings across the country. To the judiciary now, where Justice Ijoma Ojukwu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has found Doyin Okupe guilty of receiving over 200 million naira cash from former National Security Advisor NSA Colonel Sambo Dasuki. Delivering judgment today, Justice Ojukwu held that the action of Okupe, who is the first defendant in the suit filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), violated the Money Laundering Act, while stating that the act provides that no individual or organizational institution. The judge held that there was no evidence that the money passed through a financial institution. According to Justice Ojukwu, the NSA was not a financial institution, adding that even if the president was said to have authorized the funds, he did not say that the money must be paid in cash. The Supreme Court has affirmed the Court of Appeal judgment, which declared the deregistration of the Youth Party illegal and null and void. The Apex Court, in a unanimous judgment, dismissed the appeal by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Justices led by Unwani Musa Abba Aji upheld the decision of the Federal High Court Abuja, delivered by Justice Inyako. Recall that Justice Eko had declared the purported deregistration of the party illegal, null, and void. In a separate 35 years of active service to the country, the officers were advised to remain good ambassadors of the armed forces while being disengaged from military service with fanfare at the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center (NAFRC) in Osho Live. 25 generals who were enrolled for senior mid-level entrepreneurship and management course at NAFRC have graduated. Thanking them for their selfless services to the country, President Muhammadu Buhari admonished them to be mindful of the urged them to stay proactive in order to overcome challenges that emanate with retirement. Away from that, the Lagos state government has urged residents to socialize responsibly during the festive season to prevent accidents and fatalities at events. The Director General of the Lagos State Safety Commission, Lanre Mojola, made the appeal in a statement, adding that the Commission's safety guidelines emphasize that phone seekers should be aware of emergency exits and muster points as they move around when attending large events or concerts. He further said that where alcohol is consumed, it should be done in moderation. Mojola also advised residents to report all alarming incidents, stressing that the state government could use its discretion to restrict, modify, postpone or cancel an event after a thorough risk assessment and submission of relevant operators of Planet, Tangsio Radio and Spectrum Television, Tony Afia, led management and staff of the media firm to Deeper Life Christian Ministry Uyo for her annual traditional Thanksgiving service. A correspondent completes the story.
The radio, as part of the end of year activities, the Taft Media Train arrived at Deeper Life Christian Mission Uyo to thank God for an awesome year despite the challenges faced. One thing that stands out is the addition of a new media outlet thanks to your 102.7 FM media group, Mr. Tony Afia, thanks God for the overall growth of the organization.
We came here to thank God for what has happened in our organization. Last year we had the Spectrum TV, and this year we brought in Tangsio, and God knows what is going to continue to happen in our media organization.
Other departmental heads also expressed their gratitude to God for a successful year, with hopes of a better year.
This is what we do, from inception. We gather like this to bless God for His faithfulness, for His blessings, for His marvelous deeds in our midst. He's the one that has kept us, the very one that has expanded us to this point that we are. And it only makes sense for...
This year we have one of the raving radio stations in Akwa Ibom State, the Tangsio FM, and has been well received. So when we look back at the year, we have to be thankful for all that God has done for us.
We came here especially to thank God for His. We had just Planet Radio and Spectrum TV, and now we have Tangsio. I mean, only God knows what will happen by this same time next year again. So as a group, we found it worthy to come and worship here and to say a big thank you to God.
The state overseer, Deeper Life Christian Ministries of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Emmanuel Ameze, thanks the group for their collaborative efforts in propagating the gospel and hoped for more collaboration in the coming year.
But your coming today, I think, is a turning point in this church. And we are believing, and we have made up our mind to patronize you people and also to do our own publicity with your radio station. And by the grace of God, we know that all the nook and crannies of this state will be touched with this radio station.
Gideon Martin.
The ruling party has renewed its confidence in Cyril Ramaphosa to lead the movement and therefore run the country at a congress in Johannesburg. 70-year-old Ramaphosa, who remains popular with the public despite a recent scandal, won 2,476 votes from African nationalist Zweli Mexi, who was implicated last year in a corruption scandal. The overwhelming vote for the president paves the way for a second term if the ANC, increasingly challenged by unemployment and the energy crisis, wins the 2024 general elections. In the meantime, France has made affirmations to end months of tensions over a visa dispute with Algeria. Minister Gerald Damiani announced a return to a normal consular relationship with Algeria. In September 2021, Paris reduced visa quotas to its former colonies of Algeria, Morocco and Tunisia in a bid to encourage for Algeria and Morocco, in the hopes the countries would repatriate their citizens living in France as irregular migrants. Still on the foreign scene, about 150 years after the end of slavery in its former colonies, the Netherlands today wants to give a speech on slavery at the National Archives in The Hague later in the day. Meanwhile, the cabinet representatives are also scheduled to speak in the former Dutch colony of Suriname in South America, as well as on the 6 Caribbean islands that still belong to the Dutch kingdom today. Participating in naval exercises starting this week with Beijing's Navy as Russia and China deepened ties amid pressure from the West. The Russian Defense Ministry said the drills would take place between December 21st and 27th in the East China Sea, firing of missiles, artillery, and exercises to counter submarines. Meanwhile, Pope Francis has revealed in a new interview that he has already signed his resignation letter to be used in the event of his becoming impaired. Francis made the comment due to health issues or an accident. Francis said he wrote the letter several years ago and gave it to the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Tassio Benton, who resigned in 2013. Although Francis, 86 years old, appears to be in good health, he has often been seen with a walking stick and sometimes uses a wheelchair due to pain in the right knee. Still to come in the news. FIFA readies 48-team World Cup for 2026. Do stay with us.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. On our business news, at least 172 companies may not benefit from about 2.4 trillion naira of some tax waivers effective 2023. The federal government is phasing out the tax exemptions for mature industries with the 2022 Finance Bill, which President Muhammadu Buhari has sent to the National Assembly. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said to grow tax revenue. Reports say the latest move by the government will also affect companies operating in 71 industries or sectors that are eligible for pioneer status incentive. Meanwhile, Twitter's new boss, Elon Musk, may be considering stepping down as the chief executive officer of the micro-blogging company after letting step down as Twitter's CEO, promising he would abide by the poll's results. Reports say with about 6 hours to the end of the poll, yes was winning by a margin of 56.3% to 43.7%. In health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has alerted known in a public alert released to newsmen, saying the counterfeit BTNX incorporated COVID-19 rapid antigen test kits were communicated to NAFDAC by Health Canada. Health Canada had said that the fake test kits were sold online in 25-pack boxes by a distributor called Healthful Plus, with TNX incorporated products in color and typeface and uses the BTNX incorporated. The agency advised wholesalers, distributors, pharmacies and consumers to ensure that their products are obtained from authentic and reliable sources and advised the public to report adverse effects via pharmacovigilance at nafdac.government.ng or via the MedSafety application. Still in health, Nigeria reported 1,027 cases of the circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 in 2021. This is contained in the 2021 annual report released by the World Health Organization due to suboptimal population immunity. The report also showed that 7,770 acute flaccid paralysis cases were reported in 2021 against 6,324 in 2020 and 7,509 in 2019. The health body listed the major challenges as limited availability of NOP-V2 doses affecting responding to the CVP-DV2 outbreak with the required scope and speed, in more than 40% of IPV doses from routine immunization. In sports, Lionel Messi and Argentina won an all-time classic World Cup final despite Kylian Mbappe's hat-trick taking France into a penalty shootout following a 3-3 draw on Sunday. Gonzalo Montiel converted the winning spot kick to clinch a 4-2 shootout success for Argentina at the end of a thriller at Lusail Stadium, with goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez having saved Kingsley Coman's attempt and seeing Aurelien Tchouameni fire wide. Was concluded World Cup final before attention turned to the Gertrude figure of 2026 looming on the horizon. For the first time, football's greatest tournament will be held across 8 teams, up from the current 32-team format that has been in place since 1998, and double the number of teams that took part in the last World Cup held on US or Mexican soil. According to reports, the biggest 9 qualifying slots for the finals compared to 5 previously, while Asia will nearly double to 8 from 4.5 slots. On our entertainment news, Canadian rapper Drake has lost his $1 million BET placed on Argentina to beat France in 90 minutes. Recall that Drake, prior to the match, had backed the El Albiceleste to win the match. The rapper, however, lost his money based on the rules of the betting. Kiss Daniel has been presented a plague by music streaming platform Boomplay after amassing 500 million streams on the platform. The plaque was presented to Keith Daniel by Boomplay's Director of Artists and Media Relations, Tosin Sorinola, at his announced that Keith Daniel became the first artist to hit 100 million project-based streams in less than 6 months with his fourth studio project, Barnabas EP, this year. The blistering success of Barnabas, Booga and Cuff has kept the embers of Keith Daniel's impressive run going, nominating charts across the country, from staying on the Boomplay Top 100 charts to Booga accumulating 1 million streams within 24 hours of release on Boomplay and retaining the top spot in countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, Togo that claim globally. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 4. I am Uyai Anyeken. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of your evening.